Hi, welcome to another video on the Mercedes Benz EQE SUV. It's dope car tech. And in this video, I'm going to be conducting a series of tests for this electric car. And what's really important for me in an electric car is the range and the charging. So in this video, I'm going to be conducting a range test, a real world range test, and a real world charging test, and a series of other tests. If that sounds interesting, then let's get on with the video. But before then, a huge thank you to the wonderful folks at Bilia Mercedes Benz of Skellefteå. So if you live in Skellefteå, Sweden, be sure to check out Bilia. They have a great inventory of cars. They can arrange from financing to leasing. So go check them out for your next dream car. On with the video. So let's set out our destination for the range test, and it's going to be a trip back and forth, and then I'm going to calculate and see how much range was used in accordance to the distance of our destinations. Here we could, where to, so it's Luleå. It's a city north from where I live, so I'll just say Luleå, which is about,
in 200 meters turn right.
Great. So first, I'll silent this. So Luleå is about 137 kilometers away from here. Before then, I would love to test the charging speed of this car. I've been daily driving this car for 2 to 3 days now, and I've not charged it for once. So I would love to also test the charging speed before we begin the road test. So currently I'm at the DC fast charging station, charging the Mercedes Benz EQE. And this fast charging station that I'm in has a maximum charging capacity of 350 kilowatt. And remember, the Mercedes has 170 kilowatt of DC fast charging. So in theory, this Mercedes Benz is supposed to at least charge from 30% that we're in now to 100% in like at least 28 minutes or so. But then let's see at what rate the Mercedes Benz is currently charging at. So as you can see now, the Mercedes Benz EQE is charging at a maximum of about 118 kilowatt. I don't know why it's not getting up to 170. I was expecting at least 150 kilowatt of charging speed based on the capacity of this charging station that I'm in, but this is what we have. So I'm going to be stuck in the charging station for 46 minutes. So we are at about 15 minutes of charging time, and as you can see from the screen here in the gauge cluster or on the infotainment screen here, we have increased from 118 kilowatts to 128 kilowatt. We have charged to 59%. We've added 143 kilometers of range. Yeah, it's interesting to see how charges in the real world based on real world conditions and not just what Mercedes advertised. Currently, we are at 91%, and what I noticed is our charging speed has dropped to 41. I think this is Mercedes trying to protect the batteries. I noticed that when it got to about 80%, the charging speed started reducing, and so we are at 91%, and we are at 40 kilowatt of charging speed. So we are at 100% charged, fully charged with 476 kilometers of range. That's great. Let's head out on the road. Okay, so heading out on the road in the Mercedes Benz EQE SUV for a range test. A couple of reminders that are quite important to note is we are riding on 20-inch aero wheels, which would also affect the range. And also in this test, some metrics that I'll be using, apart from the distance that we're going to be driving back and forth, I'll be checking out the consumption on the Mercedes Benz EQE SUV, and then I'll be sticking to the speed limit. Of course, we'll be driving on the 110 E4 Express, and then there's a couple of 80 roads, 90 roads, and 70 roads. And then I'll also be checking the noise level of this car at the maximum driving speed. I'll be setting the temperature controls to automatic, and the temperature, of course, is a pretty warm day, so my temperature would be at 19 degrees. And also I'll be driving in eco or comfort mode. Of course, this car is very, very comfortable. And also, I've also mentioned that this car is equipped with the AMG line premium. That comes the adaptive cruise control or the semi-autonomous driving. The car would keep me in lane. It will adapt to the speed of the car in front of me. The only thing I need to do is pay attention to the drive. Of course, I'll be testing the decibel count or the noise level in terms of decibel count for this car to give a perspective on how quiet the interior of this car is. So at 110 kilometers per hour, we are averaging about 65 decibel count of noise level. So to put that into perspective, loud singing would be ranked at about 80 decibel count. Most normal cars would rank at about 75 decibel count. And conversational level with someone where you both can hear each other is about 70. And a quiet street with no cars whizzing by is ranked at about 60. So we are averaging between a quiet street and where you can have a normal conversation with someone and you both can hear each other clearly. So at 110 kilometers per hour, decibel count of 65, that's great. Our average battery consumption is 22.5 kilowatts per 100 kilometers according to our consumption gauge here, and we have a range of 460 kilometers left. Our decibel count on the 90 kilometers road reduced from 65 to 62. So the lesser the speed, the more quiet the interior is, which is logical. Our current consumption is 21.4 kilowatt hour per 100 kilometers. And doing a quick maths with our battery capacity and our current consumption gives us a total battery range of 420. Leave in the comment box below if I got the maths correctly. All right, so the last noise test we are going to be doing is on the 70 kilometer. And on 70 kilometer, our average decibel count was between 60 decibel. Went all the way down from 65 decibel to 60 decibel. So on a 100-kilometer road, we averaged 65 decibels. On 90, we averaged 62. And on a 70, we averaged 60. Also, on our consumption, from the start, we have bumped down our consumption, or the consumption has gone all the way down from 22.5 kilowatt hour per 100 kilometers to 20.2 kilowatt hour per 100 kilometers of average consumption. What Mercedes have done to make this car more efficient on the highway, it has active motor decoupling. What that does is it decouples the front motor because you don't need four-wheel drive. You only have the rear motors powering this car, so which is good. So you have only one motor working on highway drives to make it more efficient. Two more tests that are worth also mentioning on this car. One is coming from the straight pipes, Jacob and Yuri, is the visor test. And so I want to test the visor to see if it can extend backwards. And that failed. So according to Jacob and Yuri from the straight pipes, it's a fail for the visor test on the Mercedes Benz EQE SUV. But that's surprising. My Mercedes Benz CLA can extend the visor. Don't know why you don't have that here. And another test which I did, of course, I mentioned how good the digital LED lighting of this car is. It's a matrix LED light, and the ambient lighting system, Mercedes Benz does one of the best, or if not the best, ambient lighting system. This car at night is magnificent. The LED lights here and all the LED lights surrounding the car. You have LED lights up here. You have LED lights on the dash, bordering all this infotainment system. It looked absolutely beautiful at night. The headlights were incredible. And one thing I like with these headlights is they have high beam assist. So the high beam assist will blank out certain portions of the road so you don't dazzle upcoming drivers. This is the first time I got to see this working, and it works really, really well. Last thing we have to do is conclude on the Mercedes Benz EQE. SUV. All right, we have finally gotten to the end of this range test. The total distance covered back and forth was 274 kilometers. And also we should remember that Mercedes claims that the total range of this car is 540 kilometers. But we have new values, and it's interesting, these new values. So if you look, our total distance here covered was, from when we resetted the trip computer, was 280 kilometers, and the consumption figure is 20.4 kilowatt hour per 100 kilometers is the new consumption figure we have based on the range test that we just did. We have 154 kilometers range left and 34% on our battery capacity. So to calculate the real world range of this car and the battery capacity, we have now 432 kilometers of range, which is about 80 to 81% of the manufacturer's claimed range, which is an amiable figure and an admirable figure for this car because of how large it is. But then we can see that the measures that Mercedes have put for this car to be as efficient as possible paid off, even though I was expecting a better range from this car. But then here are my final thoughts on the Mercedes Benz EQE. It's a really, really great electric car. I wouldn't say it's a car that would make a big splash for Mercedes. No, but then for it being a luxury car with a premium and nice and plush interior, good highway driving characteristics, really comfortable. The noise levels, like we see, went down and we had good noise levels. These are really great pillars for this car. But then what do you think about the Mercedes-Benz EQE SUV and the range test? What do you think about this range test? Engage in the comment box below, and if you made it to the end of this video, thank you. Thank you very much. Subscribe to this channel, like and share this video. It would help me get more interesting cars later in the future. That's for me in this video. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one. Peace.